Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Spoonie Games and part 3 of Cooking Companions. I almost forgot what it was called, Cooking Companions. Yes, part 3. And when we left off, we were... Well, it was between Gregor and Maria, potentially going out to try and find food. Potato did hint that it would be Maria because he said about the calories she would need for swimming, and she said that she'd be good at swimming in the floodwaters. Um, I'm not sure if I'm about to pick who goes out there. I have a feeling. None of these options are good, but we need to find food or help. Grabs a branch from the woodpile. We cut it into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one. And the shortage will go outside to search for food. Well, we said that he shouldn't really do it because if his glasses break, he's blind and he probably won't find his way back and he'll die. She's good at swimming. I don't know what she can do because she never went out foraging as far as I remember. Maybe one day she did and joined them. I'm the cooking guy. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths. You pick the biggest, which others intend. That's cheating! Will it be Gregor, Antley, Corinne? Will it be... looks like I've got the shortest. So she is swimming. Maria. It's okay. She wanted to go anyway. I watched Antley forage earlier, so I know what to look out for. But isn't it also like dark out there? Have you got a light source? Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Corinne, Antley, Gregor. I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches Maria leaves the cabin. For the last time. Dun dun dun. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is. And then silence. Such a happy little tune. Maria's left the cabin. She's about to get hypothermia. She'll be dead soon, la 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 la. And then we can eat her corpse. I'm sure we'll see her again. For dinner. Yeah! The rest of the group nods. She's the one that didn't want to eat meat anyway. So that's probably a good idea. Because if we have to resort to cannibalism, she'll want none of that. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has come up. The sun has come up. The sun has completely set, even, not come up. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You have a strange dream. Dead to me. Achievement. Maria's left the cabin. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is a cabin guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong you can't get her into the oven.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, random Alexa. You curse at her repeatedly.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay, 1 second. So it just went and unplugged it. I have no idea why it started telling me it can't help me with that when I'm not even talking to it. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking into the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. One of them looks behind her, eyes widening when she sees you. She's terrified. You've never been this angry in your entire life. You've gained on them. They can't run forever. As you trample through the field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch a glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall downwards, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake up in a cold sweat. I didn't see that picture at all. So, trying to cook someone else, and again, they, I guess, trick me into going. Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Maria. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Corinne. How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anthony and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Corinne. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Corinne. I'm sure Anthony will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. Never should have eaten that much. Corinne's hands are involuntarily shaking. Greg and Anthony just nodding in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. Sure, Maria will make it back. She promised. Everyone retreats to a corner. What do you want to do today? I guess if we're going round, we'll go back to her. Go there. Hey. You don't have to lie to me. I know Maria's not coming back. I don't know where she came up with her being the best swimmer. I guess the only one that would know would be Antley. Last summer Antley would watch her swimming from the shore. He could have been a lifeguard. Such a good swimmer. She never went under, but if she did, he would have pulled her out easily. Why would she lie about something like that? Corinne seems deep in thought. Maybe it's better to leave her alone. He closed the door softly. Can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with the bread and jam. I'd be fine with just the strawberries. Nobody else is laughing. I would kill for some vegetables right now. You would too. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Good night. Night. Yes, murder. That will make the vegetables appear. But you only dream about decapitating a corpse. You wake up in a cold sweat, in a completely different room. The basement? Good morning. Corinne's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? Cook. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. You cooked meat. Where did you get that? You ignore Corinne's question. What's that smell? Gregor's finally gets off the couch. Where did you? The three of you the three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting it into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Downward spiral. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored secretly, hidden, so you can ration it better this time. I understand. Thank you. Until he runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Gerger wanders off until he returns looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some, don't fight this, Antony. Glit takes a piece from the plate, turning his back to the group as he eats it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Oh, God. Corinne leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Let's go and speak to him. You knock on the door first. Antony. Slowly open it. Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. You nod. Thank you. Gosh, Antony will remember that. Yeah! Relationship through hardness, or hard times, and hard ways, and cannibalism. You leave Antony to go and tidy up some parts of the kitchen. Hours pass. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Perseverance to keep going. They can never be sated now. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time. No dinner. Fine. I understand. I can wait. No arguments. Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. After cannibalism, everyone's tired. You fall asleep instantly. So did she come back and you murder her? You have a strange dream. You are having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eyes has begun giving you issues lately, so you reply. Forge me a new eye, then. You laugh. But then the ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from moving. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker one. No turning back now. The blacksmith takes a hot poker out of the coals. It makes his eyes glow as he scowls at you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet, but you are unable to break the ropes. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body as he raises the poker again. You wake in a cold sweat. Well, that didn't give me a new eye. That, killed me. Now I have no eyesight whatsoever. You wake up to see Gregor looking out of the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything? The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin. And there was also whispers. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. You looked out of the window. Good morning, big guy. Where's Maria? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m. I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gargling noise like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Yes. Okay. I sometimes hear her crying through the radio, but that's just a broadcast. Right. I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. It's what she would have wanted. What's gotten into you, Antley? Antley looks at you begging. Bring us another slab, please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Help me. Antley. Gregor looks hurt by Antley's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You get some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to some boiling cauldron water. It will taste bland without seasoning, but you need to savor it quickly, or need to serve it quickly. Smells good. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole. Antley creates ripples in the broth with his finger. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. But Maria. Antley begins to weep. Look over at Corinne. You didn't notice her eating. There's just an empty bowl now. Corinne is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. Gah! How could you be so careless again? You remember Corinne's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? This storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. Antley? Yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Maria. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants. Please, Antley. You can swim back after looking. Gregor's right, Antley. Maybe you'll find Maria out there. You're right, Maria's still out there. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Antley. That's right, Antley. Please help us. Please save us. Let me sleep on it, okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shovels off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. I have no idea what she said. Maria. Something is approaching. Okay. Don't be a crybaby. It's just me, Onion. Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Antley. He's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust my advice? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. That was a lie! People actually believed it in the 1500s. How embarrassing. Who would believe that? There was even a doctor in 1990 who tricked people into thinking it was true. Yes, oldie medicine. You've got ghosts in your veins. Here, have some opioids. Anyway, you know what smells worse than raw onions left in a room? You! It's been a while since your last bath, right? Can't remember. Yeah. Could you smell you before I came into the room? Onion. Yikes. So, can you stop Antley from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. Antley could make his own decision. Please? We don't need another one stalking the hallways. Tapping on the windows. Crying through the radio. You have the sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Scared to death that I'll run into her. Don't make me tattle to Cabbage about you. She could be as mean as Potato if you get on her bad side. Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Antley you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's only for me, okay? You can trust me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. Okay. They're for the frying pan tomorrow. Nothing beats sliding around on butter. Later. You completely forgot the conversation with Onion. You fall fast asleep, still ravenous. So I'm guessing we can only prevent him from going if we've got a good relationship with him. You have a strange dream, don't I always? A fox is collecting payment from you. You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack, then add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will inevitably open the sack, and then the dogs tear the fox in half. Filled with such a loathing for the fox, you give him the only things you had for food. The storm rages outside. As the snow piles up, you begin to eat whatever you can find. Pillowcases, candles, leather. One day you wake up and you have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. A few days later you go mad and leave the cabin completely ravenous. Trees begin to look like charred meat. You take a cut out of one, tearing your gums apart by the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood as you wade through the snow. Days later, a deer gallops by. First creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake up in a cold sweat. Oh, I don't get a picture of that one. Oh, okay. Something smells terrible in the living room. Someone puked in the corner. Grab it up with the rag and save them for the embarrassment. Good morning. Good morning, little guy. Well, Antley, what's your decision? I barely slept last night. I could hear her whispers coming from the basement. She kept telling me to go outside. We don't want to rush you, but one of us puked last night. Really? Antley, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. But why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see the glint of Corinne's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. The group disperses. Tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. Literally. Oh. What do you want to do? I guess since we're trying to stop him leaving, for what the trumpets say. Until he looks pale. Thanks for coming over. So he seems confronted by your presence, or comforted even, confronted. Yeah! My awe-inspiring being gets another heart just by standing there. Have you checked out the basement door close? Every so often, I can see her peeking out at me through these holes. Really don't want to go out, but I don't want her tormenting me anymore. You know what's down there, don't you? I've no idea. I'm assuming her corpse? No. Wow. You aren't fooling anyone. Please get away from me. You oblige. It looks like Antley will remember that. Call everyone together for a meeting. Guess I'm supposed to have said yes to that. Antley, you okay, little guy? Looks pale. Looks like he's going to pass out. Antley, have you made a decision? Yes. I'll help you all out. I promised. Thank you, Antley. Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks. I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy. Thank you, Antley. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best. Corinne, Yes. I. Gregor looks at you expectantly. Did you want to say something to Antley? You say nothing. I'm guessing that would have been my moment to be like, don't go! I... Goodbye, Antley. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy. Yay! He's gonna be whispering and crawling around and doing weird stuff. See you soon, little guy. I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Grin goes to the bedroom to sleep. I didn't tell him the truth. Gregor's getting choked up. I didn't tell him. Missing him already. Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear a scraping on the floor. Found you! Ha ha ha! He explained how this isn't a good time right now. This is no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He's as tall as a tree but as dumb as a brick. What's the root of that? Ha ha! Another cornbread classic. You've been very unpopular right now. That's a tree reference, get it? Anyway, you need to protect Gregor from the red-haired woman. Captain called an emergency trumpet meeting and told me to give you this mission. To protect Gregor at all costs. Understood? Sure. You nod. It's the least you can do, right? You tell Brad that pun doesn't make sense. On a roll today, I'll see you around. Well, I'm not going to save him. He's like the least together relationship I've got. Brad hops away, pushing himself through a mouse hole with a small pop. You fall asleep thinking about what Brad told you. You have strange dreams. It's lying on the table in front of you. Take off your glasses first, practically cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. After working the saw, you wrap the cuts in old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you decide to dry the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching. You clench your fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake up in a cold sweat. So I just like sleepwalk murdering these people. You wake up in a completely different place. Did you sleepwalk or... You found some meat! As you do. Everybody's still asleep. This would be a nice surprise after yesterday's event. You decide to surprise everyone with breakfast. Start by cutting each slice fairly thin. You brown each side in the oven, releasing its unique smell into the air. Grin runs into the kitchen. What is that smell? Give it to me. Now. You don't argue. Grin grabs a cutlet, burning her hands before bringing it to her mouth. Ugh! She hungrily devours it, barely chewing. She grabs another cutlet off the plate and eats it. You thought she was concerned with rationing. Gregor wakes up from the couch and heads to the kitchen. Oh God. Already? Gregor looks conflicted. But he succumbs to the hunger. They always do. Gregor eats his food in a few bites, grabbing more with his hands. Tears start streaming down his face, but he doesn't make a sound. You join them, quietly consuming the meat on the table. Right. I think there's plenty for this episode as well. We potentially cannibalize 2 people. We've got 2 remaining. Gregor seems like he's going to be next from what the chumpet said. And then it's just going to be me and her. And she's got a knife, so she's probably going to try and kill me. So I don't know if I'm going to do another playthrough and try and build up relationships with people that are going to go first to try and save them. I don't know if that's how it works. But yeah, we will see how badly this first playthrough goes. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.